amigos, it's Will here at Will's Custom Figures, coming at you today with a big bad breakdown of the Marvel Select custom head sculpted Hulk figure. So please guys, sit back, relax while I talk you through why and how I made this guy and everything else in between. So firstly, let's call out the elephant in the room. This Marvel Select Hulk with this head originally, and this head with the little bit of robot on there is probably, in my opinion, the greatest ever Hulk figure that has been released by any company. Now, Marvel Legends have done some fantastic Hulks, however, they haven't scratched my itch. So I wanted to customize my very own Marvel Select Hulk. And as you can see, this head sculpt has turned out pretty decent. It looks okay from all different angles. So just destroying the background there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the head off and I'm going to show you some of the details and how I made it. But first things first, before I do that, here is a bit of a comparison size-wise against the one and only Marvel Legends Doctor Doom that you may have him displayed with in your collection, and the absolutely legendary Captain America, probably best Captain America figure I've ever seen made in my whole life. As you can see, this Hulk face, you know, it's pretty intimidating. It's pretty gnarly and evil looking. The green is as close to perfect as I can get. I'm not a professional painter. I'm sure somebody knows the exact perfect green to get to make that a reality. However, I took the time to get this head sculpt and I used clay. I'll just zoom in on this for anybody that hasn't seen this figure. Here we go. So I used clay to basically make the rest of the face. I'll do a comparison next to both of them in a minute. It wasn't an easy process. For anybody that's thinking about doing it, I use beige Super Sculpey polymer clay, and I also have a selection of sculpting tools. So the way that I would do it, whether or not you're using the original, this is actually a casted head up here. This is the original. What I do is I just roughly add on all of the clay in all of the places where I want it to be. So you can see here, this would be a very, very rough example of how I would do it. Then it would be a case of getting a sculpting tool. So these you can just buy on Amazon. Really fantastic steel sculpting tools. And of course you can see this doesn't look anything like the lip. So then what I would do is I would remove any excess, try and blend it a little bit, just roughly at the beginning, and then use this tool to create the exact angles and proportions that I want. Here we go. There we go. So that is a very, very basic example of how I would do it. Just removing the clay as you go. You can then go reuse that. This is actually oven dry clay, this polymer clay that I'm talking about here. But yeah, then you just get the angle on there. You can see it's basically a very, very time-consuming process. Here we go. So that angle I would be happy with as far as the mouth. It's not perfect, but then it's a case of blending. So, you know, just using your hand, you can see here these lovely lines to blend it in. Now I'm going to pop this head off and do a bit of a comparison. The process is not straightforward. You can see there's a little bit of clay on there to just to get it to fit. But this is that head sculpt repainted. I hope you guys like it. I'll just remove this bit of clay here so you can see the complete original, which I used versus the one that I've made. Now, the process, firstly, to start with, I didn't want to ruin this head. I wanted to keep this head because I think it looks really, really good for certain displays. So putting all the clay on there, I then had to remove it, and that was a time-consuming ordeal. However, did it, and I'm happy. You can't really tell that there's ever much clay on there. I then have to put like a little cone of clay on the top and stick it into a pot upside down. Pop this one down a minute. I then have silicone, and I'll do a silicone mold. You can see this is the silicone mold. This, for anyone that lives in the UK, is just like a little pound shop plastic mold that I would put all the silicone in. The head would be on there, and then after the silicone is dried, I have a cast, and I can just put resin in here to make a cast of that Hulk head 1,000 times if I want to. So if anyone's interested and wants one, let me know. This head, remove all the clay. Good, there we go, that's sorted. I've then got a pure white head. You can see the original colour underneath here. So it's just pure white. Starting with all different Vallejo paints. So got olive green, dark green, that's a bit like done a few washes of that on the top, goblin green, and this most important one, lime green. Used reds, browns, things like that to get all these different textures and colours on the face. Just going to zoom in a bit there, sort my camera. There we go. And with any kind of casted head sculpt, there has to be the point, as I mentioned before, where the hole is on the silicone. So that was here at the back. There was like a tube, a funnel, which I pour the silicone in. I'll then have to just sculpt this with clay and sculpt this with a Dremel drill and add on a little bit of clay just to make sure it's nice and smooth and sanding it down and stuff. The hole, it won't pop on just like one of these heads will. Oh, I'll just re-zoom in there. It won't just naturally pop on because this is made of a softer plastic where you can pop it on, pop it off. This, I had to drill a little bit of a hole with a Dremel, and I've just put a bit of clay in there just to secure it in place. There we go. But as you can see, once it's in place, you can turn it, you can move it. It looks awesome. And I'm just going to move the camera around for a few different angles so you guys can see. Hopefully there's a few little shots and tidbits of information there that you can use. I know a lot of people have asked me to work on something live and like film it. I would love to do that. I'm not a very techie person. I don't know if I've got the time with 2 kids and 2 jobs, full-time job and then this part-time job doing figures on the side to do that. However, it is definitely on my bucket list to do. I really, really want to do this. I've really enjoyed working on this project. It's been such an absolute treat. And this Hulk figure, like, he stands, what, like 8.5, 9 inches tall? He is an absolute showpiece on anyone's display. So for me, the time, the effort, if I didn't know how to do silicone molds and I was one of you guys out there, getting rid of that robot face and replacing it with this one, like, for me, that is a worthy compromise. If anybody likes this video and if you guys want one of these yourself, please hit me up on Facebook, hit me up on Instagram. It would be an absolute treat to paint some of these and to get some of those in your collection. Or if you just want to paint it yourself, the white ones, I'm selling them for, I think, around about £10 each. And guys, any final reflections from yourself, please let me know in the comment section below. I've wanted to film this video for a long, long time. So from myself, from the Hulk, please like, comment, subscribe on Instagram, Facebook, and of course, you're watching this on YouTube. And let me know if there's any feedback or any top tips or any suggestions or requests that you guys have for my next video. Thank you from me, thank you from the Hulk, and until the next video, guys, peace.